I believe there's a recording of my class that has already been done. I've refined it. This is going to be the best of the material that I've done so far. I believe, Judy, are you in the room? So Judy is the essentially icon moderator. So there's going to be another recording of this class. I don't know if it's going to take place on this session or if it's going to be the next session, but it is going to be in it will be recorded and it will be in the Icon University series. Oh, Kurt Shewell is awesome. Kurt Shewell is actually my sponsor, my direct sponsor. He's doing a attraction class in the auditorium. Cool. Cool. All right. Well, it's 12 o'clock on Cinco de Mayo. So happy Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully there's not enough tequila and Corona in order to go around for everybody. My class here is teaching you how to find motivated sellers without actually having to pick up the phone. I teach leverage because I don't like to do a whole lot of work. I am self-proclaimed the laziest agent in EXP, and I have a reason why. So a little bit about myself. I happen to be a licensed real estate agent since 2010. So when everybody was getting out of it, I thought, hey, let's get in. It's going to be a great idea. So I learned trial by fire with short sales and foreclosures, completely different market than what we're in right now. I've gone through the ups and I've ridden this upswing all the way to the top. I was on a real estate team for about 8 years, director of ops for 3 of those years. So I'm very much into systems, leverage, finding the most optimum way and efficient way to do something. I've started my own team for about 3 years now. I have 5 people on my team. We should close close to 30 million in retail sales. Give perspective on that, the average price point in Metro Detroit is 200,000. So that is equivalent to about 130 to 150 transactions. I'm an active real estate investor. We have flipped 10 homes in the last 18 months. We look forward to flipping probably 20 to 30 this year. I own a transaction management company, the VP for business development for Hashdash, and actually I'm starting a property management company as well. So I have my hands in a lot of pots, and the way I teach this is how to leverage other resources and time so that way you can maximize your dollar productive activities. So what we're doing is I happen to use big data to build predictive analytics to find motivated sellers in my target market, as well as knowing how to leverage outbound resources, how to leverage technology, and then being able to track your results with the technology that I happen to use. There's going to be, these are the 4 systems that I use to operate my business. PropStream is your big data aggregation. CallRail, which is a cloud-based phone system, and PatLive, which is a 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year answering service that you can tell them exactly what they want to say when somebody returns a phone call. CallStar, it's a little bit outdated. That was the ISA company that I was using. I am currently searching for another one. So if you could just go ahead and take a screenshot of this slide. These are the applications that I use to run my business. Slides are not moving. Can anybody else see the slides? Damn. Got it. All right, let's see. Zoom. Okay. Might be a little lag here. Okay. The systems that I use to operate my business, PropStream, CallRail, PatLive. The next screen here, I'm going to go over the definitions of some terms that I use. Just so you all know, a cloud-based phone number is also known as a voice. I'll go back to different slides as we will go through as I get to the end. I'll go back to different slides that you guys want me to. All right, I'm gonna minimize the questions at the moment. So the definition of terms that I'm going to be talking about. A cloud-based number is known as a voice over internet phone. It's a phone number that has no destination when you call it. You dictate the disposition of the call flow for any inbound call. You get to dictate how it gets handled, very much like a Google Voice number. Call flow is a set of rules on how you want the disposition of the call to be handled when it comes back into your system. Call masking is an outbound number that shows up as a missed phone call that's not your number. So not your personal cell phone number. It's a completely different phone number. The other is the ringless voicemail drop. So a ringless voicemail drop shows up as a missed phone call on your prospect's phone, and all of a sudden they have a notification of a new email and a voicemail has been left. Big data is aggregation of data that is public information, such as mortgage records, tax records, years of ownership, a lot of different data points that are out there that are collected naturally on everybody. So what you're doing here is we're actually aggregating that data based off of what we're looking for specifically. The last definition of terms is called skip tracing. Skip tracing is taking a small piece of information and finding out what the other parts of that content are. So say, for example, you have a phone number. Well, if you skip trace a phone number, you can find out the first name, the last name, the property address, any potential email addresses that are associated with that phone number. Vice versa, you can find a target property and you can skip trace that property to find anybody who's associated to that property, as well as the contact information for those people associated with the property, email address, things of that nature. So that's the definition of skip tracing. So the next, I'm on the slide that says track your resources. Can everybody see that sign? All right, let me go here. There we go. How about this? All right, my apologies. Here we go. About me. Course over there. There we go. Everything's moving. Okay, so course overview. All right, fantastic. Sorry. User operator error on my end. Oh, here. Now we're on systems that I use to operate my business. Can you guys see this? All right, cool. We're in business. So take a screenshot of this one, systems I use to operate my business. I will send out the links of the businesses that I use. I have negotiated free trials as well as a discounted rate on different platforms that I use. So you will have those links, and I will post them in the chat box at the end of it. CallStar is a Philippines-based ISA company. Like I had said before, I am looking for a new ISA company, so that is just one of the resources that I did use. I recently stopped using. Definition of terms. This is back to the point where I was saying that there's a cloud-based number. Also take a screenshot of this because I use these terms a lot. Cloud-based number, call flow, call masking, ringless voicemail drop, big data, and skip trace. Okay. Wherever you want to screen share. So next one. So this here on this slide, it's tracking your resources. Now I am a big fan of not having my cell phone number at I am a big fan of resources, tracking your resources, and not having your cell phone number out on any platforms such as Facebook, Zillow, Realtor.com, anything of that nature. So what I do is I have a unique phone number for every platform that I have lead sources come through on. Facebook has a different phone number. So when a phone call comes in, I get a phone, it does a whisper message stating call from Facebook or call from Zillow, call from Realtor.com. Whatever I have out there as dictating for the track my resources track my resources. So The tracking number shows up different. So it's very hard to find my cell phone number, and it's a good for your protection, but these are all cloud-based numbers. To the right are call flows. Now, a call flow is tied to a cloud-based number, and you can dictate what you want to go to on that disposition. You can have, there's, I believe, 9 or 10 different dispositions as to what you can have when a phone call comes through. When a call comes through, I have this dictated as a sign-up call, so it rings 3 phone numbers at the same time. Depending upon what resource that I'm using, I'm going to have a different call flow attached. I'll have a call forward to Pat Live for my answering service. So using big lists. So big lists, data lists. PropStream is a data aggregator. What they do is they actually pull public information from MLSs as well as county records across the United States. So in there, you can actually create filters based off of what you're looking for. I.e., for example, when I build a list, there's like all these different filter statuses. So depending upon the marketing message that I want to send, for example, I'm an investor, so I look to buy 2 to 3 houses per month. So people that are probably going to be more apt to sell are non-owner occupied homes, vacant homes, people that may have pre-foreclosures. There could be a death certificate. Or if I'm marketing on a retail basis, I'm looking for somebody who's been in their home for 5+ years, has 40+% equity, has 3+ bedrooms, at least 1,000 square feet with a target price range. So you can actually build your own data list based off of filters that you want to target in a specific area. Once you identify your area, you can click on all the properties that have been identified to match your list. Then when we do that, and once I've identified all the properties, here's my, for example, here's my criteria that I happen to build in this target search area. So it's brought up 13,361 homes that identify the criteria that's over here on the left-hand side. Once I identify that list, I then go to a skip tracing. So this is an a la carte service in PropStream. PropStream is $100 a month for the subscription. The services that it provides are a la carte. You can search any property, but when you go to skip tracing, it is it has the pricing that's right there, and it goes up and up based off of, it goes down, the price goes down the more contacts that you have. I just recently did a neighborhood search for 768 properties. I paid $93 to get all the information, skip trace for that particular neighborhood. And we've already set 7 listing appointments, and that was from 2 days ago. So you can get all of your information from this, it'll identify it. So you just pick your marketing list to identify property owners that you want. Second part that PropStream has is a ringless voicemail feature. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, I think it's under maintenance, but there's also a ringless voicemail campaign in your KV core. You can drop 500 ringless voicemails to a target list. Now, the cool thing about a ringless voicemail is a pre-recorded message. You can set it out to go on a drip. You can set it to go out on a timed out basis. With PropStream, you can set it up to where you can send out 30 voicemails per minute. Now, when I target a list of, say, 13,000, that means I can contact 1,800 people per hour. So if I were to let that run for 10 hours, I can reach and drop 18,000 voicemails an hour. Oh, I'm sorry, 18,000 voicemails per day. This is where it comes into leverage. I don't want to pick up 18,000 return phone calls in case indeed that does happen. So instead of having it all being routed back to me, I've hired this answering service and I make their life hell. So now I drop these voicemails. It's now rerouted through the cloud-based number to go to the answering service where they have people there specifically to pick up a phone call. So when they pick up the phone call, they take a quick little bit of information, what I've dictated on my script saying, "Hi, thank you for calling Garrett Huffman's office. What home are you looking to sell today? And they get the address, the contact information, the name, and the idea as how long they, what their time frame is to sell, how much they owe on the property, and what price they're looking to get for it. So that's the basic information that they get. Then they email me a call disposition after every phone call. So I've sent out 18,000 phone calls. I have somebody else picking up the phone, answering the phone calls, and then emailing me. So I can go out and do what I want per day. And I sit there and, go out on my appointments. And when I get, 10 to 15 stacked up into my inbox, turn around and make 15 phone calls and set 10 appointments. And it's all about leverage. It takes me 30 minutes to make 15 phone calls, but I'd much rather talk to people who actually want to talk to me. So let's see, right down. So how it all works together. If you start at the top left, call star, which is the ISA or ringless voicemail from PropStream from a call mask number, which is the cloud-based number. So the outbound call or the voicemail drop goes out, cloud-based number shows up on the potential seller's caller ID. So it shows up as a missed call or connection. So the seller in turn calls the number back. Then when they call that cloud-based number back, the call flow that's attached to that cloud-based number is rerouted to go to my answering service. I'm going to linger on this slide for just a little bit, so that way you can kind of absorb it in real quick as to how it all works. So the cool thing about doing this and having this leverage, you can do a mass text, you can do ringless voicemail drop, you can just do a 1-to-1 3-line dialer, whatever it is, to actually contact these people. You can obtain data nationwide. I can start a team anywhere in the country and leverage that team with resources. Within 30 days, have more than a handful of listings. It's all about where you want to scale and how you want to approach your business. There is a cost to doing it, but it's something that you can scale up and down at will. The cool thing about this is it literally is marketing at will. It is pipeline business, and I'm a big proponent of prospecting for people, talking to people, because in order to make your phone ring, you have to make your phone ring. This just provides leverage for you to be able to actually talk to people on a very high level that are actually motivated, that are off market. And when they're off market and you're the first person talking to them, kind of have an advantage. And I much rather dominate the market by being the only person having the conversation with people that are thinking about selling, not the people that have already raised their hand, such as for sale by owners, expires, etc. I don't want to compete with 6,000 other agents that are all making the same phone calls to the same 20 people right now. I'd much rather be the one agent having the conversation with 1,000 people with potentially grabbing that business before anybody else even thinks about it. Cool. I will be putting out the links for the PropStream as well as the Pat Live, and then my survey link, which I gotta find that here. So just make sure that you do happen to get that information here. So I'm gonna open this up to Q&A, and there's a lot of questions. I will take them in the order that I see them. I will put priority on those who have raised their hands. Mary Bailey, you have raised your hand. What is your question? Mary, are you still there? Cool. Keel from Fort Worth, you have another question? No worries. Okay, well, I'll start answering the questions that are in the chat box here. So what sort of response do I get from the automated messages? Well, we do a mix of bulk texting as well as ringless voicemail drop. We're finding that we get more response on the bulk texting than we do on voicemail drop, but we usually see about 1 to 3% return ratio on the voicemail drop. And then out of those, we're looking to maybe 2 to 3 appointments per 10 phone calls that come back. Some people are just curious as to what's going on. Other people that are actually interested. The conversation that usually happens is, oh my God, it's so crazy. The wife and I were literally just talking about selling last night and we get your phone call. It must be fate, which is actually awesome. Then let's see. So I'm gonna put the link up. First link I'm gonna put in the chat box is the call answering service that I happen to use. And then the second link is going to be the one for PropStream. All right. So next question. So what was that website again? I think I just answered that one. How do I manage the do not call list? So you can scrub. You can actually load your lists into your dialer and have that pre-scrub against it. There's a do not call scrubber. dncscrubber.com, I believe, is the site. But I have somebody else do all that. I don't want to do that, so somebody else does that. What is the cost to create 18,000 leads and hire someone to answer those calls? So I put 18,000 out there. Like that's the maximum that I could do. I don't do 18,000. I don't want to ruin my day. The first time I actually happened to do my voicemail drop system because I didn't think it was going to be, hey, cool, like this would be really cool. So I did a testing at 4:30 on a Thursday and ended up dropping like 600 voicemails in 30 minutes. And my phone, my team, their phone and my phone did not stop ringing for 5.5 hours. We were working until about 10 o'clock, just picking up return phone calls. It was crazy. So that's the leverage, the possibility of what it can do. But I scale my business up and down based off of how much that we're looking to do that month, what's the availability, and then based off of my value proposition is how I scale my business up and down. Where does the list of contacts come from? Melissa, the list of contacts come from PropStream by identifying your property as to what you're looking to do. And you can identify those properties and then you skip trace those properties. Christopher Pasillo.
Yeah, my question is, what are the current texts that you're dropping and the current voicemails that you're dropping in this market?
So the text that I drop is, hi, my name is Garrett Huffman. Hold on, I have it right. Hi, then merge field, first name, because you can do a text template. So hi, merge field for the first name. Hi, Gary. My name is Garrett Huffman. I'm a local real estate agent. I have buyers looking in the merge field to the city as to what their city is. I have buyers looking in the Wixom area. Would you be interested in selling if you got the right price? Then boom, that goes out. We send them out. We found that the nice medium for sending out bulk text is to send out 50 every 30 minutes. That way, if you have one person managing the responses, you can let it flesh out for 30 minutes, that way people actually can respond. And we happen to get a pretty good response rate recently. We have 12 listings that'll be hitting the market this month. And then we have the potential at 22 so far. We have 10 that we're going on in the next 3 days. So if we sign those, we're going to have 22 listings hitting the market this month between
Is it the
three
same
of us.
for text message?
Huh?
Same for text and for voicemail, the same message?
So for voicemail, it's hi, my name's Garrett Huffman. I'm a local real estate agent. Looking for homes in the Commerce area. If you got the home, or I'm looking, so for voicemail, it's more general. Hi, my name's Garrett Huffman. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm looking for homes in your area. If you got the right price and we're interested in selling, please give me a call at 248-78 or whatever my cloud-based number is. Francisco.
Yeah, what is the legality with Ringless voicemail? I was just listening to a case that was up in Philadelphia with some wholesalers that were sending Ringless voicemail and they were getting sued with it. So I was kind of skeptical. I was afraid of doing the ringless voicemail because of that.
So that's going to be on a state-by-state basis as to what the brokerage laws are allowed. If you're dropping a voicemail onto a do not call list, yeah, you will get taken to court 100%. So I've been to court once in the last 4 years, and I've dropped probably 750,000 some voicemails. If somebody says, hey, or responds back, remove me off your list, I just go in and I remove them off my list. You know, it's just, that's it. Make sense?
Right. Yep. Perfect.
Cool. Vincent, you have a question?
Yeah. So you say when you reach out to these people and you're saying, hey, I have buyers in the area. What if you don't have buyers? You know, you're saying that you have all these upcoming market listings. Is that just your way to get the foot in the door to lead into a good conversation?
So do you have multiple offers on almost every listing that comes on your market?
Yes.
Okay, so you have buyers, they're just not your buyers.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah,
No, that's great. No, that's great. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, it's get in the door. Hey, at this point, like I'm like, if they're within 5% as to what the retail value is, great, cool. Let's sign docs when you want to go on the market. Like I'm not even like trying to argue with sellers on price as to what they want to list their house for. We'll know where we're at in a week and a half. Like we could price, I literally priced one for 15,000 more than what I thought it would sell it for. And I sold it for $42,000 more than what I sold it for. I couldn't believe it. It's crazy right now. Mary, you still have your hand up. Did you happen to have a question? No. All right, cool. Going back to the list here. How much do these services cost? So PropStream is $100 a month for the subscription. If you do, I just did a skip trace on one property that cost me 12 cents. We identified it. It's a property that's been vacant for 3 years. So we're trying to get in touch with the homeowner to try and buy it. When we happen to, my value proposition to sellers, by the way, is, you know, I'll give you a cash offer on your home. I'll also let you know what a retail price is, and you can kind of pick which one you want to go with. You'd be surprised how many people want a cash offer instead of retail value, regardless of the commission. So I scale my marketing up based on how much money I have to buy houses. So when it comes to how I come up with, you know, when do I market, how often do I market, that's what controls it, by the way. So the services, PropStream, $100 a month. I believe Ringless voicemail is 10 cents a voicemail, which is right in line with what KV Core has. You can do 500 voicemails for $50, which comes out to 10 cents a voicemail. There's Pat Live, which I pay $230 a month for, I think, 200 some minutes. Whatnot. I can't remember what the exact plan is. In there I have it negotiated as a discount. So, and then Edward, did you happen to have a question? All right, cool. Then which do you start with regarding what you do? So I recommend PropStream first, just simply because, Edward, can you put your mic on mute? I suggest PropStream first. That way you can identify and get phone numbers to talk to. My experience in real estate is, hey, you got your license. Okay, when's the phone gonna start ringing? You know, it doesn't work that way. So in order to make your phone ring, you have to be able to, you know, make the calls. So if you at least, I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know who to call. I mean, it took me 3 years being on a team to even realize that there were, you know, systems that I could get for sale by owners and expireds. Like, that's Vulcan, that's RedX, that's Mojo, that's Landshark or Landvoice. There's so many different ways you can get for sale by owners and expired. There's also Cold Realty Resource, but you can just download neighborhood information out of that. So you got to be able to find people to talk to, whether it be social media, open houses, whatever it may be. I like free, by the way. There's 3 ways you can get by in this business. You can pay for it, you can pray for it, or you can prospect for it. So prospecting for it is going to be your highest return on investment because you don't have to spend a lot of money to find people. It's just you're not, doing it on a massive level. You can pray for it, which is career suicide, or you can pay for it, which gets really expensive over time. You just gotta have to have your systems in place, conversion ratios, and all that other stuff. Have I tried Remine versus PropStream? Yes. So I did Remine about 7 years ago, and like I found that their data everybody's data is only about 20 to 25% accurate at best. Remine was asking $1 per property for all the contact information, or $1 per contact information on a property. That's too expensive for me. If I'm finding one property and identifying that property, it's going to cost me $3 to get the name, the phone number, and the email address for anybody that's associated to it. I just did 768 on PropStream for $93. Accuracy is about 20 to 25%. I don't focus on the accuracy, I focus on the results. Do I have a script for the voicemail drop? Very simple. Hi, my name's Garrett, a local real estate agent. If you got the right price for your house, would you be interested in selling? So give me a call back. Do you find the bulk what's up message gives the best response? Actually, I use LionDesk to send out, I use a database to send out the bulk response, and I send it out from a cloud-based number. So that way, when somebody replies back to the text message, my entire team gets notified. It will be recorded at some point, my presentation. What service do I use for skip tracing? The skip tracing is actually in PropStream itself. I use PropStream for skip tracing as well as identifying the properties. The difference between a cash offer and a retail price. So a cash value, so as an investor, I have profit margins. As a real estate agent with retail, there's cost of sale. So if you ever, when you go through your listing appointments, it's better to talk about cost of sale instead of commission. I'm going to give you that tip on your listing appointments. So when people are like, well, how much is your commission? Oh, well, don't worry. That's already built into my the cost of sale, which is right around 8%, because you got 3%. I charge 3%. You don't have to. We're not talking about commissions because that's a federal thing right now. But when you do go through your presentation, the cost of sale is whatever percent you want it to be. So on the acquisition side, as a real estate investor, I not only have cost of sale when I resell the property, I have cost of acquisition. I have my renovation cost, I have my holding cost, I have my contractor cost, my cost of repairs. So I deduct all of that from what I believe the aftermarket value is going to be when I'm done with it. So that's how a cash offer is, essentially how I come up with the cash value. And then there's the retail value. So like I said, I'm an investor. I live in both worlds of retail agent as well as real estate investor. Agent, how do you cleanse against the do not call list? There's multiple sites out there that you can clean against the do not call list. You can send your Excel spreadsheet to them and they will run it through and they will send you a clean list back. So when I say cash offer, do I go through express offers? Express offers is what I do, but I don't use express offers because I'm actually the buyer. I buy the houses. So I don't have any need to go through the express offers. I actually am the buyer. I do buy houses. I do buy 2 to 3 a month. Are the rest of these resources I'm mentioning in the slide? Not quite sure on that question. See, answered all questions so far. Cool. All right. So any questions? I think I've gone through everybody on the chat box as to what the questions are. Here's my contact information, by the way. And that phone number, it's not my cell phone number, just giving you guys that heads up. All righty. Cool. So we're only 30 minutes into my session. These things usually go to about 1:15. That's what I have. Do I pay the prices I pay for a house? It's my numbers are my numbers. I go off of what the market value would dictate the house to be at the current time that I make my offer. Okay, Lindsay. Feel free to raise your hand. I like hearing people's voices. Go. See, I'm going to go to my links here, and here's my links as well for the services that I use. Steve Johnson. Nope, I use WhatsApp for communication and 2 of my other businesses that I operate. So I don't use it in my real estate business. So I do use it in the Hashdash business. But nice, 20 people there. 20 people. You have a lot of questions with 20 people, or you guys essentially got the concept over there? Cool. Sounds good. Vincent, you happen to have another question?
Yeah. So, I'm probably going to start using these platforms. How long do you think it would be to see a rate of return? Like, should we expect it within a first week, or do you think that there's a learning curve to this?
So there's going to be a learning curve. That's hard to say because you don't know who you're contacting at the moment that you're contacting. So this whole platform is all about building your pipeline, and I am 100% firm believer in building your pipeline. So when you reach out to these people, you're going to get, well, yeah, I'd be interested if I could get the right price. Yes, I'd be interested in selling now. Oh, well, we're thinking about selling in September. Oh, we're thinking about selling in May of 2022. Like, you're going to get these responses as to when they're actually thinking about selling. So now, like, what you're doing is okay, great. Now you have your now business, which is your A business, 0 to 30. Then you have your B business, which is 30 to 60 days. But then you're setting up your pipeline and your follow-ups for the people that have identified themselves. So like if they say they're going to be ready in September, okay, we'll follow up at the end of July. Then follow up again at the beginning of August. And then, so as you get closer to the target date that they state that they want to get their home sold, you're having that conversation with somebody before anybody has even reached out to them. They're not even talking to another agent. They talk at the dinner table saying, hey, we're thinking about possibly getting the home sold. So, now you're the only one having the conversation, and you're having it for a year. You're developing rapport. You're developing a relationship with them. So, and you're doing all this to stay top of mind. So when they're ready, you're the only option because you've built that relationship. You've done the nurture. So you will have immediate results, but you're also going to have a lot of long-term results. I mean, we literally just had one respond. Yeah, we're thinking about selling in 15 years. I put it on the calendar. I'm going to follow up once a year just to see where it's at. But we literally just we've scaled up our business at the end of April. I committed to my marketing budget. We will be listing 22 houses in the month of May between 2 other agents and myself. And then I have my assistant that kind of helps me handle all my transaction management. But we will be listing 22 houses. And we just did the math on it this morning. That's equivalent to about $6.8 million, which translates to about $200,000 in gross commission. Thank you. Question?
Yeah, thank you for that, Garrett. I really do appreciate it.
Cool. Cassandra, you have another question?
Yes, I do. Thank you. So can we talk a little bit about the returned call? So your value proposition to them is obviously that you're an investor, you have cash, you can buy the property. And can you just talk a little bit about how you handle that call after the phone service has, gotten that piece of information for you and you give them a call back?
Yep. So after the Pat Live takes the call disposition, they email me. It comes over in a format as to how I want it. So what they do, part of their script when they answer the call is, thank you for calling Garrett Huffman's office. They're like, oh, well, I was trying to get in touch with Garrett. Well, he's currently in an appointment at the moment. What home were you thinking about possibly getting sold? And then they'll take all the information and I'll just let it sit in my inbox when I get a few of them. And my call back goes like this. Hello, my name is Garrett Huffman. My office let me know that you returned my phone call while I was out on an appointment. Tell me what's got you thinking about possibly selling your house. And then I go right into LM Papa, which is the seller structure of a call: location, motivation, price, agent, payoff, and appointment. So I go for the jugular pretty quick. I go for the appointment early and often throughout my phone call.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Steve, do you still have another question? Nope. Lindsay.
Thanks, Garrett. I just wanted to ask you, do you guys or do you function in one particular area, which we call a farming area or a city of focus? Or I would imagine, you know, at 1,800 contacts per day, you're going to run out of your area pretty quickly. So do you operate across the state, or how do you function?
So great question. My team happens to cover 7 counties. I have built my team geographically instead of locally. So I have one agent that lives 1 hour north of me. So I find when I recruit agents, they typically don't like to go more than 30 to 45 minutes outside of their home address in terms of where they go. So when I recruit and I hire on my team, based off of location, then I also base, you know, do I need to add one more person to that location because the volume of business in that area? So I essentially create little ripples across the Metro Detroit area. So we do cover 7 counties. So that, if you're not familiar with Michigan, that's going to be Detroit, Ann Arbor. That's essentially going to be the Ohio border all the way up to the Thumb, and then over towards Lansing, which is the entire Southeast Michigan. And we scale our business up and down. If my team member that's, you know, an hour south of me, if she's, you know, lacking on business, lacking on appointments, I'm going to scale up in that area. We can recycle and reuse the same list, because just because they're not ready now doesn't mean that they're not going to be ready later. They may not have responded to the first text that we sent them the first time, but they may, the next time we send them a text, you know, I'm going to use the same list over and over. I'm going to just recycle the list. So we'll just go from different area, different location to location, and it's going to store the text messages that we've already sent related to that contact record into our database. Oh, that makes sense, Lindsay?
Thank you so much. That really helps a lot. And as I'm sitting here next to Stephen Johnson, who's our team leader, I think we can also convey the fact that South Africa is probably the size of those 7 counties. So we as a team could probably operate together on this and have a lot of success with it. It's very exciting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, not a problem. And like my team is very open and very transparent. We like, I don't want to drive an hour and a half north from where I live. So if I happen to get someone that's in her farm, yeah, hey, great. And she has her calendar shared with me, because we use Google Calendar. So I set her up on an appointment. I'm not looking to take anything more from it. I'm just, hey, cool, Jamie, there you go, run with it. Melinda, you happen to have a question?
Hi, yes, I had a couple questions more, I guess, about logistics.
Mm-hmm.
So how many people do you have on your direct team, and then how many people will service your calls and texts? So I guess that's your hire out team?
Nope. So my internal team, we have 4. I am bringing on 2 more agents at the end of May and June. So it's all done internally. We send out the messages on a bulk through LionDesk, and we can actually manage all the text messages, all the return calls directly in LionDesk, and my team gets the notification. You had a couple of part question there. Can you review the first part again?
Sure. I was asking how many people were on your direct team. So you mentioned you have an assistant,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have agents. And then I wondered how many people are servicing your text responses and your automated call responses.
So we're all managing. So if my agents do not have appointments, they get in the system. They're self-managed. They go in there and they do it. As responses come through, all of our phones get pinged. We all know that somebody's responded to a text message. And when that happens, we all just click on the link, go into the database, and we respond. And when they respond, it looks like it's coming on behalf of me. So the conversation that goes back and forth with the prospect on the other end of the text message, under their impression, they're always having the conversation with me. So they can set themselves up on an appointment, they can set me up on an appointment, but my agents are the ones that handle it, and they scale their business up and down based off of, you know, where their pipeline currently stands. Like if they have nothing going on, well, then they're going to be in there quite a lot more. My assistant, she does a lot more. She's not just in my real estate business, but she helps me maintain my calendar. But she'll help me manage all of my transactions in my transaction management system.
Okay, thank you.
All right, cool.
What is your marketing budget?
So I do spend money on Zillow. I probably spend about $3,500 to $4,000 a month total across all resources. Let's see, cash offer, express offer, slides. Okay. Live in a rural county of 100,000 folks spread out through the county. It could be, do you know everybody? That's a question. Do you know everybody? Do you know all 100,000 folks? If you don't, well, then if you do, your message becomes a little bit different than mine. If you know them, hi, hey, it's Michael. Just wanted to check in and see how everything's going. Do you have any plans to possibly sell in the near future? You know, you can use this platform. It's not about marketing and just finding. You can use this to contact your past clients. Hey, you know, this is Garrett. I'm just reaching out to you. How's everything going with the house? And you can send that out as a message to all your past clients. You can do the same thing with a voicemail. Pretty cool. Do I have any experience using hard money lenders? Yes, I use hard money for everything, absolutely everything. The acronym for a listing, to get a listing appointment, it's called LMPAPA, LMPAPA. L stands for location. M stands for motivation. P stands for price. A stands for agent. P stands for payoff. A stands for appointment. Cool. Does PropStream have homeowners, emails, and phone numbers for the listings? Yep, all of it. They give me every single phone number. There's one that had 9 phone numbers attached to a house. I called every one of them. It gives me also 4 or 5 different email addresses. So any possible phone number that's ever been associated with the house, because guess what? When you get a cell phone bill, you have to register your home address. And when you register your home address, the phone number gets tied to your home address. So you get every single piece of information that's associated with the property. Pretty cool. Are all my marketing dollars going towards PropStream? No. If I'm recording this, I do not have a link, but I do this again. I will be doing this presentation again every first Wednesday at noon Eastern time. Thank you, Susan. That's awesome. She's got it. I do all this. The key metrics that I track appointments. So I track the dollar productive activities. I can, since I see all the text messages and phone calls that come through, I can manage my team and know what they're doing and know what they're saying. I'm looking for appointments set, contacts made, and it comes down to transactions, just knowing the funnel. I have reports on everything. I track lead sources. I use Salesforce, by the way, as my main CRM. Salesforce, I have automation written. I'm a Salesforce admin, so I can custom write automation for all of my transaction management system. So my contract to close is 15 minutes, and that's also the foundation of what my transaction management company has behind it for its backbone. That's Liberty Transaction Services, which launches this month. Sergio, you happen to have a question?
Hey Garrett, hey, this is Sergio. I'm out here in New York City. I'm a 20-year-old agent, and I just want some advice, man. Like I'm wondering if you could go back to your first year in real estate, since I just got my license about a month ago. What would you do differently? Where would you start? And that's a very broad question, but I just expect, also like a broad response.
It's a great question because it's the question that everybody, is going to benefit from the most. Going back, you do everything you possibly can. One of the best agents I've ever trained, he was 21 at the time, 21 at the time. And he was always like, well, everybody thinks I'm too young. Well, okay. You just got to be more aggressive. And once you start with people, your knowledge base starts coming out. When you start opening your mouth and you don't know what you're talking about, people know. So as an agent, learn your craft, know your documents inside and out for one. Two, prospect. Talk to everybody. Do not be a secret agent. Join as many buy, sell, trade groups on Facebook. Contact people, do open houses, door knock, call FISBOs, call expireds, do whatever it takes. Host an open house for a listing agent. This isn't one way to go after business. As you scale up in your business, you can dictate what you want to do in marketing. Like you can mail a neighborhood, like just do something. You've got to do something.
100%. Thank you so much. That's as much advice as I would want. I mean, honestly, like at this age, I feel like I'm just kind of trying to figure out and organize myself. So, I mean, it definitely sounds like this is something that I'm taking notes and taking this into deep consideration. So thank you, Garrett.
No problem. Lindsay, you happen to have a question again?
Yes, please. Sorry, man. I just wanted to find out, did I hear you correctly say earlier on that you flip up to 10 properties per year?
I'll actually, we were on pace to do 20 this year, but two of my projects ended up eating a lot of my capital. So we're probably only going to do like 10 to 12 this year. But we're looking to scale up to do 25 to 35 next year. And then 50 to 75 the year after that.
Okay. All right. And I was just wondering, is there any limitations as to how many you can do?
There's not. It all depends on how much money my hard money people are going to give me. So I just opened up I used a hard money lender for a recent investment, and that one went really well for him. So he just told me to go shopping until, he's no longer comfortable. So he essentially told me that I can go spend like $5 million acquiring houses for budgets and everything. So I'm shopping, so to speak. I'm looking for three right now.
That's great. We just need to do some homework here in South Africa, because I don't know why I heard there was a limitation of 3 that we could flip here. And that restriction was placed by EXP themselves. So we just need to clarify on that point. But thanks so much for answering that.
So double check with your broker for one, but 2, I have the same restriction. So I get like 3 or 5 or something like that on a personal level that, hey, I don't have to pay any commission on, but I'm going to charge myself commission anyways. And this is going to sound crazy, but I charge myself commission anyways because it actually reduces my total net on my capital gains. So it actually reduces my taxes on my business side of it. And then my commission that I charge myself actually applies towards my cap. So once I cap out, it helps me also achieve icon as well. I'd much rather be the seller, by the way. I can control my own business pretty well, especially if I'm listing 20 to 30 houses that I'm the actual seller. So there's a limitation as to what you get for free. There shouldn't be a limitation on what you can do personally. That's my take on it.
Great, very exciting. Thank you.
Cool. So Steve, he just said it. 3 exempt properties, then you pay 4%. Cool. Vincent, you happen to have another question?
Yeah. I was regarding one of the questions that was asked in the text. I have RedX. I'm trying to use it. Do you think that I should maybe start using this versus RedX, or do you think I should keep both?
So I have Mojo. I use Mojo. So that's going to be a question based off of your personal business. I don't have time to prospect. I literally do not have time to prospect. So I have to leverage other ways to prospect in order to actually run and function and maintain my business. If you can mix in for sale by owners and expireds, which I can't imagine there's going to be very many of those in the market right now, especially with the current conditions. Like everything's selling in my market, everything's on the market. You have 10 offers in the first day and you have 78 showings for the first 3 days. It's just nothing's expiring. And then, you know, somebody could literally put like their kid's playhouse in the front yard and say for sale, and it'll have multiple offers with for sale by owner. So like, it's really dry. It's really hard to get listings right now, in my opinion, on for sale by owners and expireds because the market conditions that are currently across the country. And it's not just in your market, in my market, it is literally across the country. Everybody that I know, they're all experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, so I wasn't necessarily using it for expired, or I'm using it more so for prospecting in my neighborhood and finding homes that are for sale, and then coming with value of saying, hey, look, you know, these homes have listed and went for sale for over X amount of dollars, right? And then kind of going that route of, do you know anybody thinking about selling, you know?
Use it in conjunction with, so you can actually, you know, identify your neighborhood or your target farm, and you can go as macro or as micro as you want to go with PropStream. So if you want to do micro farming, like a specific, you know, cross section of a neighborhood, you can do that. If you want to go with a city, you can do that too. Or if you want to go county, you can also do that. But you know, you can export that information and then load it into your dialer and then start calling. Like, and now you have people to talk to, people that are not on the market. You're having that conversation. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you so much. That was very, very clear.
All right, cool. Brenda, you happen to have a question?
Yes, hi. Thank you for this. This is very helpful. I'm a new agent as well, so this might be a little basic, so sorry about that. You mentioned open houses for listing agents. How does that work, and how do I find out like all the how-tos and what I would need to do? I was asked if I wanted to do one, and I have no idea where to even begin.
Yeah, so open houses, I'm a very, very big proponent of open houses. And right now with open houses, you can get a massive amount of buyers because there are a lot of people looking. I think the average turnout right now in my location is like right around 60 at every open house. So if somebody says, hey, like I have a team of 3, we're going to be listing 22 houses this month. I have not held an open house in 3 years. Granted, the Corona thing didn't help, but I haven't held one in 3 years because I'm too busy answering phone calls. I'm going out on listing appointments. I've got my pipeline full. But if a new buyer agent comes onto my team, or if somebody approaches me and says, hey, you have a beautiful listing at 123 Main Street, would your seller be interested in having an open house this weekend from 1 to 3? I'm going to call them up and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I have an agent that'd like to do an open house on your home. Is that okay? Yeah, absolutely. They're going to love it. They're getting more exposure. And you know what? That buyer agent has an opportunity to pick up, you know, potential clients. I'm not looking to get anything from it. They're doing me a solid.
Well, how does that work? Like I do the marketing and I bring the signs. Like, I don't know how that works. Is there like a way to find out how to do all that?
Yeah, so you do the marketing, you do the promotion. You know, as a listing agent, I set the open house time. So, because it's my listing and our MLS, only the listing agent can actually do all that stuff. So, you know, so
it's already set.
So when I change the when I market a public open house, it's going to go to all the third-party portals because of the IDX feeds. It's automatically going to push that out. So it's going to go to Zillow. It's going to go to Realtor.com. It's going to go to all the different sites, marketing the open house. So that's going to be like the #1 aspect of it. But like the day of, you should be putting out like 20 to 30 signs. You should be posting it on social media. You should be creating flyers. You know, make sure you have a sign-in sheet because you want to make sure you capture the information of the people that come through the open house. Otherwise, you just said hi to 70 people and you don't know how to get back in touch with them. So you have to find a way to actually contact and capture their information, because if you can't, all you're doing is having fun, you know, talking to people in a house. Not fun.
Okay, so that's the benefit, is to get that list of people as potential buyers, right?
Oh yeah, that is 100% the benefit for an agent, because Neighbors are going to walk through. Guess what? They're nosy. They're looking at it
Right.
like, oh, Bob and Jim, or Bob and Sally over here, they listed their house for 400. So they're going to walk in. They want to see what Bob and Sally have done. And
Right.
hey, does Bob and Sally have any offers? Well, shit, if they got 400 for their house, I might be able to get 450 because I had better granite. Like, they're going to have that conversation. They're having that mentally. They're not going to tell you that when they're walking through the door. So, hey, cool. Bob and Sally, you guys walked through the open house on Saturday on your follow-up call. You walked through the open house on Saturday. My name is Brenda. We met. We spoke briefly. Did you happen to have any questions about the home? Oh, no, we're just neighbors. Oh, great. If you got the right price for your house, would you be interested in selling? It's funny you should say that. We were just talking about that. Like, you just follow up with the list after the open house.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep. Chris actually put that in there. Open house, the YouTube by Tom Ferry. That's awesome. Then Ellen Papa. Awesome, man. You got Chris has got all this stuff. So how much do I allocate per month of money to start out with the system? So I always say start small. If you have a small investment, you have small mistakes. When you start doing it on a very massive scale, your mistakes are amplified significantly. If you do not have the right support structure, you could also fail epically. So don't let your eyes get too big for your stomach. Definitely know what your limitations are and have the processes in place to make sure that you're not going to be overwhelmed with return phone calls, because you don't want to send out a whole bunch of marketing communication to your potential farm. And then when they actually try and call you back, they can't get in touch with you. That'd be the worst possible thing. That's the other end of the outcome on this is if you do it too much and you don't have the right support in place, well, you're going to have a negative effect on your farm. So start small, 150, 200 bucks a month, maybe 3. It's, scale it up and down based off of what you do. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yes.
Brenda,
thanks.
did you?
Thank you.
All right, cool. Melinda, you happen to have another question?
Yeah, sorry, got mute off now. Yeah, so you were talking about $150 to $200 or maybe $300 a month for this. So about quantity, what are we talking about quantity? Because, I don't want that to happen to me, that I put out this money and then now I can't call people. So what is realistic my first time around?
So I find that, so when we've been going through, I'm going to relate this to the bulk texting. So we're finding that if we send 50 out every 30 minutes, it's a very manageable in terms of not getting overwhelmed with the response rate and being able to keep up with the inbound texts that come back. For the Ringless voicemail, if you utilize the answering service, you can scale that up and down pretty quickly, because you're not the one that's going to be handling the inbound calls. The answering service would be. I would not suggest getting Pat Live like right away if you're a single agent. That would be something to add on in the future. It's how I operate my business. It doesn't, not going to guarantee your results, but do things on a small level, and you'll have better success as you scale up. Is that good? Sense?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. How many people are managing your bulk texting when you're doing 50 every 30 minutes?
It's my agents. My agents are handling all the communication. If they're the ones sending it out, their ass better be in front of a computer to handle it when it comes back in. Sorry, I'm crude, but I'm very stern. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna make sure that they're gonna catch it when it comes back.